This is the OSMcast. Hey folks, and welcome back to the podcast, the OSMcast, your podcast for everything awesome. I'm Basil.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Douglas.
And strap in, because that's us, and this could be a big one. Because we're talking about the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation Portable, and PlayStation Vita.
Wow.
Too many PlayStations.
But we're run out of time, or else all of January, possibly a good chunk of February will be taken if we just do them all individually.
Sony.
And frankly, we all know the important one was the first one. Maybe the second one. Depends on when you feel it was most apparently formative.
Yeah. Well,
ostensibly.
None of the... Well, okay, PSP does have a Wild Arms game. But for the most part, no Wild Arms, no Suikoden. So what good are they?
I actually don't know how much I can contribute to this podcast, as I didn't have a PlayStation Vita or a PSP Go or any of the PSP, the Sony PlayStation handheld family. I've had none of them, and I don't yet have a PlayStation 4. I've only had a PlayStation 3, so I may just chime in on that and then tail out.
So we'll see what happens, but we're going to talk all about them. Now, where is this? This is the podcast. You can find it at OSMcast.com, OSMcast.com. You can download all our other episodes, our previous PlayStation podcasts, as well as all our normal not PlayStation podcasts. You can find us on the internet, many places. Some places we even update, not normally, but we really should, like Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr, what have you. They're all at OSMcast, whatever they are. I have a Twitter that I update somewhat often at its Basil time, and Kevin also has a Twitter that he's been updating more and more lately at Twitless_Kevin.
Yes.
You can send us emails at awesomecast@gmail.com. You can leave comments in all the comments section. I read them all, and we actually got a really nice one the other day that we'll probably save for when we actually get into the next full-length regular OSMcast, which will be the 2014 Awesome Awards. So look forward to that, but until then, PlayStation. So, we're going to start talking about the PSP, because that's what came out first. It sort of came out in between the PS2 and the PS3, and it was Sony's big to-do. It was they were going to come and be the conquering portable masters to take the Game Boy off its throne. And the console did do that, but it was called the DS. Also made by Nintendo. Well, not the PSP.
But the PSP, I like the PSP. I still get some use out of my PSP. Mostly for playing Japanese games, but I get some use out of it.
Well, the PSP did, have some good games, some games unique to it. It did have Wild Arms XF.
Which exists.
It's
the Final Fantasy Tactics of Wild Arms.
And it wasn't that bad. Mm-hmm. It was, I think, as quality as far as strategy game goes as Jeanne d'Arc.
Now that one has a special place in my heart, but... And also it could play all like the PS1.
Which is primarily what I used it for.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of PS1 games. The PSP also had a crap ton of RPG and strategy RPGs.
It did. My particular... Do you have any particular favorites? Because I have my favorite. Well,
like we said, I really like Jeanne d'Arc. I kept going back to that at random times. A good level 5 turn-based strategy game. A heavily fantasized version of the story of Joan of Arc. Good times.
And any more PSP games, or is that the only PSP game you ever played?
That was the only... besides, a lot of import-only stuff, like the Super Robot Wars games.
Well, tell us about them, Kevin. Tell us all about them.
There were some. The robots that were super. They had wars.
Were they? How super were they?
Pretty super.
We're talking like Macross super, or we're talking like Gundam super?
And even Gurren Lagann super.
Yeah, well, how super is that? How super is that in comparison to other robots? How super are we talking here, Kevin? Come on. Talk to me as if I don't know anything about giant robots.
Well, I don't know. I kind of thought we were going to have to skim through this pretty quick, but okay.
No, I'm just Josh with the Class of Heroes. What about that?
Class of Heroes was interesting. Boy, yeah. Atlas can always sell me wizardry one more time. And Class of Heroes is wizardry with a cute little anime school skin on top of it. That's really what it is in a nutshell. Just, it's wizardry. And just, it's got cute little anime characters in school outfits. And ostensibly, ostensibly, you're at a school for heroes. And they're, they've got dungeons you can go off into for totally practical training purposes. And you build yourself a little roster of heroes from different classes and races, and you wander off into a first-person dungeon and kill things. And you may just get wiped by the first party of enemies, because that's how you roll.
Now tell me about Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII.
That existed.
That did exist. Did you ever play? I never played it, so I don't know if you ever played it.
I played it a very little.
Okay.
I remember something about making Cool Ranch materia.
Well,
or that may have been a Penny Arcade comic.
But you played Dissidia, right?
A little.
Okay.
Once again, a little. Which is...
And this is really telling people just why the PSP just did not really...
I really liked the Fate Extra game that was sort of a Persona Light. But it was heavy on Fate Stay Nightness and dungeon crawling action, turn-based RPG with a very intricate paper, rock, scissors mechanic. I say intricate because you had to lay down about 8 moves. But you're still playing paper, rock, scissors, but you laid down 8 moves and they laid down 8 moves. And so it kind of played out a little differently than just paper, rock, scissors.
I know that I absolutely hated that Growlanser game.
Yeah, that was a bad Growlanser game.
So they're good ones?
Yes.
They're good ones?
The one that, I think, was it PS2 or PS...
There were some PS2
What was the
ones.
Growlanser collection one? Was that PlayStation or PlayStation 2?
Those are both PS2 that we got in the US.
Because the one that was technically an updated re-release of the early Growlanser games is pretty good. The ones that were new Growlanser games kind of sucked. So, take that as you will. But yeah, the PSP one kind of sucked. It really did. I was ashamed to play it.
Now, admittedly, one of the games that I never really played on the PSP, however, it was the game series that actually kept the PSP going in Japan, and that's why the PSP still exists remotely, is Monster Hunter. The game where you've got giant monsters and you fight them, and frankly, they're all better on Nintendo consoles now anyways.
I've never been a Monster Hunter guy either. Yeah, no, it exists, but...
But one of the best tactical strategy games on the PSP, there were 2 of them. One was Tactics Ogre, the remake, and the other one was Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions, the remake.
Yeah. Oh.
Those were both really good remakes of those particular games.
I guess the Disgaea the Disgaea PSP releases were actually technically better games than their PS2 counterparts. But
and then I cannot forget, Lumines, the music-y techno Tetris that could. And who can't forget all the Metal Gear games that all sort of stumbled in and fell in.
I kind of liked Metal Gear Acid. I don't know why I liked it.
Because it was a really weird, goofy, collectible card game, board game thing with Metal Gear in it.
Okay, yeah, that's totally why I liked it.
That was totally this weird thing. Of course, then you had like Metal Gear Solid Portable,
Portable Ops or something.
Portable Ops, which is the Metal Gear game that even like Kojima doesn't really like talk about it being part of the actual series.
Yeah.
And then you had
what was the Peace Walker?
Metal Gear Peace Walker,
which was better on the PS3 release.
Well, yes, but we'll get into that later.
I had issue. I did not like Peace Walker on PSP. I liked it on PS3.
And pretty soon, we're about to see Brandish. The old Falcom Super Nintendo RPG, dungeon crawling RPG. They did a PSP re-release, a remaster of it, that we're getting like in a few weeks.
Oh, that's actually coming out?
That's coming out in the United States, translated, that you can download to your Vita.
Yeah. I guess could you still download it to a PSP if you wanted to?
Possibly. I haven't really looked into it because I'm going to put on get it on Vita.
Yeah, we're just going to put it on Vita, but...
But it's coming out, like a PSP game is actually still coming out in the year of our Lord, 2015.
And it did well in Japan, like you said, largely for Monster Hunter. And I did import 4 or 5 Super Robot Wars games for it.
And all the important games, the really important games on PSP, were all Falcom games. Oh. Ys 7, Ys Offenfeldgana. That's Ys with a YS. Now, if you want awesome music, that's where you go. We could just do Ys music for the entire podcast, and I'd be okay with that.
As imports, just fair to mention, because I didn't expect it to be good, but there's 2 Queensblade games that are tactical, kind of almost Super Robot Wars style strategy games that were actually pretty good. I did not expect them to be good. I got them cheap on a whim, and they were actually turned out to be pretty good. A little bit fan servicey because there's an armor destroying mechanic, but good.
Well, it's Queensblade.
If it
wasn't terribly fan servicey, it's doing it wrong.
The only fun factoid about that one is it was supposed to be a massive crossover game like Super Robot Wars, but somehow getting Queensblade made everyone else go, I don't know if we want to be a part of that, guys.
But back to Ys, because Ys is great. Ys is awesome. Ys is one of the reasons why I own a PlayStation Portable.
And you like Ys more than almost anyone I know.
It is an awesome... Well, if you like Zelda, if you like action role-playing games where you swing a sword in an open field in dungeons, then you'll like Ys, because that's what it is. Honestly, especially with Ys 7, it really gives you more of a Secret of Mana vibe to it, because you get a trio of characters that you can switch through.
Oh, okay.
And they all have their own different weapons. And different enemies are weak to different weapon types. And so you'll want to have a mix of 3 different weapon types to play through the game, so you can switch characters to deal the most damage.
Of course, though, the best PSP game was probably the Sonic Genesis collection, because you could play Phantasy Star 4.
Or you can have one of the best RPGs that no one else has ever played that's not Phantasy Star 4, also made by Falcom, Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky.
I need that. That game is on paper. I should like it. I kept running away to play other RPGs.
Which is a damn shame. Because it is more or less the sequel to Grandia or Lunar that everyone didn't realize they wanted, and only I apparently played this thing. At least to completion.
What game?
Trails in the Sky.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't finish
There is a PC release recently.
There is a PC release recently. And you can still buy it and download it. It still works. It looks amazing on Vita.
It actually does look really good on Vita. I don't know. It's the protagonist girl. I mean, I know you're supposed to have a dumb hero protagonist, but she really puts me off.
Yet you like very similar if it's a male who's also a magical girl in an anime.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's not capricious.
He likes his men dumb.
I like my men dumb.
I see.
Is what it boils down to. Is he likes his men dumb.
Well, like I said, I know it's a standard to have the dumb hero because otherwise there's no reason to ever explain anything to them. And I that's kind of I don't know. She puts me off. Like the heroine of that game specifically.
And how often is the real main character of this thing a female.
I know. It's like, I want to like it, but for some reason I can't get into the game.
With a dad who has an Ed Chavez level mustache.
I know. It's like, I feel really bad I can't seem to play this game. Like, I keep losing interest in it. I want to like it.
Where they translate it such that every single chest, after you open it, you can go to it again and it has a unique dialogue box asking why the hell did you open that treasure chest a second time. Because there's a quirk in the code where they realized that every time it was in the Japanese version, it was the same message, but they hand wrote, or hand coded the message every time.
Each chest had a different message.
Right, but it was always, in Japan, it was always the same message.
The chest is empty.
So they decided to have fun with it, and so they gave it a unique, goofy message every time you opened the chest a second time. Because it was there.
I'm even willing to go so far as to say this is possibly the most underrated RPG on the PSP, and more people should play it. I have a hard time playing it.
The worst thing about it is that it ends on kind of a cliffhanger, where you really want to play the next game, the series, and we still don't have them.
I hear on the third game we start getting giant robots. Like, I hear in the third game in this series, there actually are giant robots.
So that's the PSP. Now we're going to take a short break and go into the PlayStation 3. So with the PS2, Sony
won.
Sony did something that no one had ever truly done before, where they won 2 console generations in a row handily.
Yes.
Even the Super Nintendo had a really uphill battle and only finally conquered the Genesis near the end of its lifespan, around the same time the PlayStation was just coming out. But with the PlayStation and the PlayStation 2, Sony completely and utterly conquered both generations as far as sales numbers go. And so they went into the PS3 a little haughty, a little bit of hubris. And by little, I mean it was gargantuan.
Yeah.
Much like the PlayStation 3 itself.
Yeah.
That was the original PlayStation. Like, it's gotten way slimmer as time's gone on.
Oh, yeah. It's way slimmer now.
They've revised it twice. But the original PS3 was a monolith.
Like, really.
Yeah. It was huge.
You set this down in front of some monkeys and they would start using tools. That's how much of a monolith it was.
When the PlayStation 3 came out, I sort of, its price point was set really, really high.
$599 US, $599 US, $599 US, honestly, $600.
I'm pretty sure Sony was still losing money on that.
Yes.
Yeah, they were, and, I kind of had the feeling that when it came out, because, when it came out, I just super felt like everybody I talked to loved their PlayStation 3. They just loved it. They said, oh man, it was so much better. It was so much better. It even made their PlayStation 2 games look better. It was just such a greater machine than any other machine that had already come out previously. But the more they talked about it, the more I didn't feel like they actually meant it. The more I felt like they were saying, I made a huge financial purchase that I couldn't actually afford, so I have to be happy about this decision, or else all of my life will lose meaning.
Well, I know I did not get it right when it came out. In fact, I got an Xbox 360 before I got a PS3, and I hated the original Xbox.
It's true. I think all of us did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it was way cheaper at the time.
I do remember I got the PS3 when the Metal Gear bundle came out.
Right.
And I got it because, one, I really wanted that damn Guns of the Patriots. That was my system buyer. And I got a $100 gift card back on it at Walmart when I bought it. And that was totally my grocery money for the next couple weeks.
It came out in 2006. So almost 10 years ago. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, huh?
And it's one of the biggest reasons why it was so expensive was it had a Blu-ray player inside.
Which was shiny, new, experimental technology.
And
I remember, that was when, we were questioning which format was actually going to be the next generation.
Blu-ray or HD, DVDs.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that was because DVD sort of came in one.
Yeah.
But once we started dealing with... This also was the introduction of high-def TVs.
Yeah.
TVs that had greater than 420, 460, 480p. 480p resolution. And you either were going to have 720p or 1080p resolution, which is just how detailed an image you could put on a screen.
Yeah.
And there is a huge difference between high def and standard def if you have the right cables.
Yeah, if you're going to play your old Nintendo or Sega Genesis, you're actually better playing it on an old tube TV if you have one. It looks a lot better.
But if you're playing something, that's designed for it, it looks way better in high def than it does standard def.
I actually had a PS3 for a while before I had an HD TV, because that PS3 was expensive,
Right. And so... I don't remember on my 360, I actually had a VGA cable and I plugged it into my computer monitor. And I plugged it into several little speaker system just so I could play games in HD. But because of that, they needed a new video format that would take advantage of that high resolution screen. And there were two competitors to the throne, which was HD DVD and Blu-ray, and Sony
was one of the main developers of Blu-ray technology.
Right. And Microsoft sort of half-heartedly backed HD DVDs. And honestly, if Microsoft had gone all in with Xbox as an HD DVD,
might have gotten interesting.
It might have gotten interesting, and we might have had an actual format war. But honestly, because of the PS3, it was not nearly as much of a Trojan horse as the PS2 was.
Yeah.
It still was enough to knock out HD DVD.
Well, I kind of think honestly, in my opinion, it's the same reason why VHS went over Beta, is because the porn industry went to Blu-ray. And that's where the video format follows.
I thought it was actually because Disney went Blu-ray.
Because the porn industry went Blu-ray. Oh, wait, I thought I said Disney.
Who knows? I mean,
you go with yours, I go with mine.
And really, aren't they just the same thing?
Sometimes.
Now, the PS3 had its own unique problems, because this was Ken Kuragi's masterpiece. This used the Cell processor, the ultimate new inventive processor that would be powering everything from toasters to PS3s and beyond. And everything would be interlinked with the power of the Cell. And in the end, only the PS3 used cells.
Yeah.
Only the PS3 used Cell processor. It was honestly kind of weird and funky to develop for.
Yeah.
It took developers a long while to really get a hold of it.
That's true.
For the longest time, Madden games ran at half the frame rate on PS3 than it did on 360. Mostly because the 360 had more RAM, and because it used PowerPC architecture, which while was actually used in Apple things, and also the GameCube and Wii, it was still, people were more used to that than they were to the Cell. And
yeah, there's a lot, especially early in the PS3's life, there's a lot of games, if they weren't specifically made with the PS3 in mind, you actually tended to run better on the other systems.
Now, there are PS3 games that did run, that were designed for the PS3, and it ran amazingly.
Right.
But due to A, the RAM, B, the price, and the Xbox really sort of, won in the United States. Now, worldwide, it was much more even.
Oh, yeah, because Japan hates the Xbox.
Well, Japan and Europe.
Yeah.
And Europe. Europe loves the PlayStation. Like, Sony of Europe is a force. It is a force. SingStar is one of those things that came out of Sony Europe and was hugely popular.
Oh, yeah, I bet I bet because of Eurovision. They got to be big on that there.
Yeah, so, Sony, its core was in Europe and especially Japan, and America was, much more Xboxy, but hey, we live in America, so guess what we ended up enjoying more, which was the Xbox. So yeah, that was PlayStation. Let's take a small break and talk about some games. And we're back, and this is the time, the one shining moment in all of these PlayStation podcasts where I can go, hey, what games did you really enjoy on the PS3? And Doug can respond with...
Tales of Vesperia.
Tokyo Jungle.
Yeah.
Well... But no, Tales of Vesperia.
So Tales of Vesperia was originally made for the Xbox 360, and I played it so many times on Xbox 360, despite the fact that I'm basically illiterate in Japanese. I could still play. When Basil bought me the import of the Japanese version of the PS3 version of Tales of Vesperia, which has more content, which has adjusted things to the characters, I still knew what had changed.
It's true.
Lowly Pirate.
Yeah, Lolly Pirate was a big one. Having Flynn in your party was a big one.
But no, the PS3 had this was also this is one of the generations where everything was really multi-platform.
Yeah.
Like, you could get versions of the vast majority of games on both systems.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of games that, even though I played on Xbox...
It was on
PlayStation.
I played the Assassin's Creed games on PlayStation 3.
And those quite possibly, well, for me as a console game, Assassin's Creed might be my favorite series that was born out of that generation. Yeah. I do love myself some Assassin's Creeds.
And I kind of jumped over to PS3 on Mass Effect.
Yeah, I saw Mass Effect. I watched Mass Effect played on the PlayStation 3. I watched the Assassin's Creed games being played. Oh, they were so good, but this game generation, if it wasn't an RPG, I really did take a backseat to just watch it being played rather than play it myself.
Although the PS3 had a bunch of kind of crappy JRPG shovelware.
It did. Well, I mean, there's even a lot of games, and we'll get to some, in the next bit with the Vita stuff, but there was a lot of PS3 and also Vita games.
Yeah, there's some of those. There's even a couple you could call that'd be like PS3, Vita, PS4 even.
And while we did play this primarily on Xbox, it was on PlayStation, but the very first OSMcast ever was about Rock Band.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was about Rock Band. And Rock Band...
That genre is, dead now.
It's dead, but man, when we
were so into it. We even formed, a little band and performed,
to ourselves.
No, not just to ourselves. There was, that mall had the competition.
Yeah.
And
snap! I forgot all about that.
Yeah, we performed in a mall on Rock Band.
Oh, God, you're right.
That's how pop culturally centric that game used to be.
Yeah,
yeah, that was back when the mall was still a thing.
Yeah, and we came in third.
Yeah.
And that was actually not too bad. It's not like we were the third group out of It's not like we were the third group out of 3. We were the third group out of, like, 20.
Yeah, we were. Like, oh, man, I had forgotten all about that. Mm-hmm. You're right. We did have... I don't remember what the band name was, but...
I don't even remember it either. It was something crazy.
I was not there when this happened, but I heard about it.
But, yeah. Oh, man, I had forgotten all about... Oh, wow. Wow, yeah, you're right. Oh, man. Hell, I remember my old laptop. Mm-hmm. You would have one of the Rock Band stickers on it because we just liked that game so much.
It was so like I just loved the drums. I loved the drums so much.
We played Rock Band and Rock Band 2, and we played a little bit of the Beatles.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Beatles was about when it petered out for us.
Yeah, it was. That was even after you got the really awesome Beatles.
I know.
Drum
I
set.
got like the limited edition Beatles drum kit and everything. It was so cool, but I just, for some reason, I just didn't have it in me anymore.
But the greatest PS3 game was the Sonic Genesis collection, because you could play Phantasy Star 4.
Of course it was, Kevin. Well, of course it was.
For me, the PlayStation 3 was kind of the beginning of download-only console games, such as Tokyo Jungle.
Yeah.
Yep, Tokyo Jungle was definitely a thing.
Yeah, like, I actually even still play Tokyo Jungle a little bit, like...
Nothing like snapping something's neck with your Pomeranian.
I know, right? Nothing like being a cute little dog with your big old fluffy tail and taking out, like, a lion.
Yeah.
That's a thing you can actually do.
Man, between that and Ghost Trick on DS, it's kind of one of the main reasons why I want a Pomeranian one of these days. Like, those, they're cute and ferocious.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. Journey was also beautiful.
Oh, man, it's so crazy when you talk about Journey because you played Journey in a completely different way than everyone else played Journey.
Really?
Because the big thing about Journey is that when you play it online, another person gets randomly assigned to you. And you can't talk to each other.
You could just make that little chirping noise?
You just make that chirping noise at each other. And you still play together. And it does this really crazy thing where just by playing the game, you just start helping each other. And the trick is that character you might cut out. That character might get replaced with somebody else. And it just does it. You'll never know. Mm-hmm. And it's seamless for both people. So if, say, we were playing together, we just didn't know it, and you cut out, someone will replace you for me, but someone will replace me for you.
Yeah.
And you just play through it, and you won't know until the very end how many people you actually played with.
Wow.
And it does this weird thing where, like, I remember the one scene where you're trying to duck away from these crazy monsters above you.
Yeah.
And I was actually chirping the signal to the other person to follow me as I'm going through. Then something crashes and I lose my place and I get further back. And so they start tripping at me so I can follow them.
Yeah.
As we sort of just keep switching places with each other. And just all sorts of things. But you didn't do any of that. It was just you.
Yeah, I just played it alone. Like, I kind of got hooked on Journey after the fad had already passed. Because, it was after my PlayStation 3 had broken and you had lent me yours.
Right, but because I have an old 20 gig system.
Yeah.
It was the system that had full PS2 backwards compatibility, but had no built-in Wi-Fi. You had to use an Ethernet cable. And so when you had it, you didn't plug it into the Ethernet.
Nope.
So it was completely offline.
Yeah, so I had this experience of it being this heartbreakingly lonely game. Like, and I actually thought that it was so poignant that I actually thought that it was the statement that they had been going for with the game in, like, its entire concept and design. I didn't know that you were supposed to be playing it with people because the mood just felt so powerful.
Right, because it was supposed to be enhanced by playing with somebody else. Now, that same developer, they also did a game called Flower, which was also really, really neat. Very similarly moody. Mm-hmm. And possibly, even more colorful. Like, way more colorful.
Like, I really like colorful, moody games.
Like, I definitely recommend Flower then, because it's the same idea, only you're playing the wind.
Like in The Happening.
And
You shut up about The Happening.
we're talking good things, Kevin. Good things. Where you play the wind, but it's represented by these flower petals that you pick up. Mm-hmm. And it's actually even better on the PS4. But we'll talk about that later. It's PS4. But there's even things like Armored Core. We never talked about Armored Core at PlayStation.
No.
We didn't talk about Armored Core, which is really funny because Armored Cores I know that you and I really played.
We're on the PlayStation.
We're on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And not PS2, not really PS3.
I played one of the Armored Cores on PS3, but the sad thing is I can't even tell you which one it was off the top of my head.
But, speaking of downloadable games, Peggle was on PlayStation 3.
Peggle.
And because it's Peggle, I'm pretty sure I own it on PS3. Because I own Peggle on everything. Peggle for phone is actually really good now. It's really good. It might be the best implementation of Peggle, even though it's free to play. But that's a different story for a different podcast, the next podcast.
Peggle.
But Peggle was on PS3 and it's really good.
Well, there's also the Drake's Fortune.
Yeah, Uncharted.
Uncharted
is super good, super fun. It is Indiana Jones, the video game, more or less. Some people don't like the gunplay. I don't really play first-person shooters, so I don't know any better.
Yeah,
so I enjoyed the gunplay just fine.
I thought it was okay, and I do play a little first-person shooter here and there.
And the story is really good.
The
characters. Well, the story's really entertaining. It's really heartfelt told, well acted, and very cinematic. And Uncharted 2 might be one of the best realized video games of last generation.
Well, and then, also from the same people, and I'm the only one who's apparently played it, of course, there's The Last of Us.
That's true.
Although, it's better on PS4, so I don't know.
But then there's other things like, Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain
was definitely an interesting game.
I hesitate to say it's a great game.
It is one of the best feelings of tension I've ever played.
Oh,
when I played Heavy Rain.
This is the sad part because I can't remember the name of that. The Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls
from the same.
I never got into that one.
In some ways it's better than Heavy Rain. In some ways it's worse than Heavy Rain.
Much in the same vein, I never really got into Ashura's Wrath.
I love Ashura's Wrath.
I really wanted to.
That was
well.
Ashura's Wrath is pretty awesome.
If we're talking about PlayStation 3, there's one game that I think we've got to talk about. I don't know if we've gone on our tirades about this game on the podcast or not.
Well,
but go on.
Final Fantasy 13.
Oh god, yeah, fuck that game.
Fuck that game.
Fuck that game.
Dear God.
Final Fantasy, screw you, 13.
I sort of still kind of like 13.
No.
A little bit.
I do want to borrow the other.
Yeah, I had meant to actually bring you.
That series.
I actually had meant to bring you 13 too in Lightning Returns, like last time we got together. I even had them set to bring here, and I left them at home.
Yeah, I want to try them only off your recommendation that you say they're good.
Well, Lightning Returns is good.
Okay, well I'll try to play through
13-2. 13-2 in some ways, especially at the beginning, feels so much better than 13, but
ultimately,
it's a giant kick in the balls and a run around till you get back around to Lightning Returns so you can actually play the character you care about.
You know, that is actually how I think I feel about the PlayStation 3 in general. Is that the PlayStation 3, at the beginning, it just feels like such a better system than the old system. It's got so much new technology. It's so much better in so many ways, but ultimately it's really just kind of a kick to the balls. Ultimately, there were just better systems out during the PlayStation 3 generation, and the only thing that I really thought the PlayStation 3 had going for it was Blu-ray. The Blu-ray player.
In the end, I would say the PS3, like, if you had to own one system right now at this point of PS3 or 360, I would actually probably say buy a PS3.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the it's still supported.
Yeah.
like remotely.
But that's it. It's because it's still supported.
And it's a reasonably inexpensive Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and by smart, I mean good games are still coming out for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the backlog is, honestly, at this point, because about halfway through the PlayStation 3's life, they caught up. Like, games were equally as good on both systems.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 13, again, is one of those reasons that I note that, because it was supposed to be better looking on the PlayStation 3 than it was on the Xbox 360. I don't know if that's true or not. I bought it for the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, the PS3 version looks... Well...
No, it looks better.
It does look better. I'm not sure if I'd say it looks tons better, but it...
Well, it's very similar to another game which we'll get into in a moment. But it has the same... Which is Metal Gear Solid Rising. The gameplay bits look just as good. Anytime they go into movie video, the 360 gets kind of grainy. And kind of choppy, and it looks like it was encoded with a bad codec. It looks way more pixely.
Probably because it was coded for the PlayStation 3, and then they...
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's more that it was coded for Blu-ray, specifically.
Yeah.
It was coded for HD video, and even though they put it on 3 discs on 360, they still used a lower bit rate to encode those videos to fit on the DVD. And so the videos just look worse. It's really pronounced when you play Metal Gear Solid Rising. Really pronounced.
Yeah, there's... are you talking about Revengeance?
Yes,
yeah.
Revengeance.
Yeah, that was... They just said fuck the 360 version in Japan. They didn't bother with it in Japan.
But, yeah, speaking of exclusive, or things that were sort of exclusive, but really exclusive, Metal Gear. Metal Gear Solid 4 is still only on PS3. Whatever dark deals, or maybe just Kojima's whims, that game was only on the PlayStation 3.
That was a really good Metal Gear game. That was a really good Metal Gear game.
It is both at times the best and worst Metal Gear game.
Yeah, but it ends the only way the saga could, with 2 half-naked, sweaty old men beating the shit out of each other.
Oh, yeah.
And
that was such... Metal Gear Solid 4 is such a weird capstone to that series. I mean, it's not over yet, but it is such a weird... Because the game starts off kind of open-y.
Yeah.
Or it feels open-y, and then the next section feels really open-y. And then after that, it gets super closed off. Because I think he just ran out of...
Openness?
Well, it was... I think this is another Xenogears issue where he ran out of budget.
Yeah.
Like, he had too much scope and not enough time or budget to really fulfill what he wanted to do. And so suddenly everything... But man, when you get to in that game, later on in the game, and you actually get to go back into the levels of Metal Gear Solid 1, but everything is snowed in... And you realize it's the same designs, but now it is rendered in PS3 splendor.
Yeah.
I really want a PS3 version of original Metal Gear.
Now
be PS4, but whatever.
I do really, really love in that game, hopefully not too spoilery because it's pretty old, but I do love in that game where you get to pilot Metal Gear Rex and fight a Metal Gear Ray.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome. That was like, okay, I wanted this. I didn't know I wanted this, but I wanted this.
But then there was other things where was that the same time where they were interspersing the Raiden fight, or is that a separate thing?
No, that was a different boss fight. But
yeah,
there was a boss fight where you see the awesome Raiden fight, but you can't really pay attention to it because you're doing other things.
So there is that. Other good games on PS3 you can download: Minecraft.
Yes.
You can download Minecraft to PS3 because you can download Minecraft to almost everything.
Yeah, you can, and it's wonderful.
Although since we mentioned Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, there's also Vanquish, which is another Platinum Games title.
Yep.
That is pretty cheap if it's not on the free list anymore.
But possibly more important, Bayonetta.
Yeah. The initial release of it was kind of wonky on the PS3.
It was.
They've patched most of that away though, and it plays pretty well now. Although the definitive version is still probably the Wii U.
Well, yes. Yes.
But, if you don't want to get a Wii U, get it on PS3. Why not? Yeah.
But yeah, we're doing pretty well on this. So let's take another break as we're speeding through PlayStation. We'll talk about the PlayStation Vita. We'll be right back. It's the OSMcast. So, PlayStation Vita. Sony was not done trying to conquer the world with their portable, and they were set to do it all over again, and they did it exactly all over again.
Yeah.
With the PlayStation Vita.
On paper, I love the Vita.
Oh yeah. The Vita is a great system. The graphics are super nice. It feels really good in the hand. The screen looks amazing. The controls feel pretty good. It's a really great handheld. It could fold up. That'd be nice. But other than that, it's pretty much perfect, except that no one wanted to buy it and play it because it's not Nintendo.
Yeah.
In the end, the 3DS conquered all, much like how the DS conquered all. And
my Walmart, we don't even have Vitas to sell. We've got some of the games, but none of the devices.
And, well, it didn't help for Japan, where Nintendo, out of nowhere, got Monster Hunter exclusive.
Yeah.
Nintendo got Monster Hunter exclusive on Vita, which has now created this entire subgenre of Monster Hunter wannabes that are primarily on the Vita.
Yeah.
Because someone's trying to get a hold of that magic, and it just isn't working because it's not actually Monster Hunter. And that is now just the realm of Nintendo, because Nintendo has somehow worked their dark magics, and they realized with the DS and the PSP they couldn't help that, but by gum the 3DS and Wii, they could help
Monster Hunter.
They could run Monster Hunter, so that's what they're doing.
But we all know the greatest Vita game is when you download the Sonic Genesis collection for PSP.
God
you
damn
play
it,
Phantasy Star 4.
No, it is Ys Memories of Celestia, which is technically a remake of Ys 4, but Ys 4 was never actually made by Falcom. It was a really weird, like, Super Nintendo game.
Oh, yeah.
A Genesis game. And they decided to take the general idea of the plots they had behind it and then turn it into a Vita game that's obviously running their PSP engine. But it's fun to play. It feels like this sort of weird offshoot of E7. But it's good. It's good.
Yeah, and on the Vita, if you've bought the titles digitally, you can play almost all the PSP games.
Yep, which is what I did. And because they actually, even though the Vita is not called the PlayStation Portable 2, it's the PlayStation Portable 2, its screen resolution is in fact literally double that of the PSP's resolution. So all the PSP games look perfect on the Vita. All the PS1 originals look perfect on the Vita. That is primarily what I use my Vita for.
Yeah.
Is actually PSP, and especially PlayStation 1 games, and a smattering of Vita games.
I was actually considering on the PS3 mentioning the Final Fantasy X HD re-release, but it actually plays way better on the Vita.
And that was the thing they did, though, was the Final Fantasy X 10-2 re-release.
It plays way better, in my opinion, for my money, from my direct experience, it plays better on the Vita. The 10 has tendency to randomly lag.
And it still looks really good.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks, and of course, the definitive version, the Persona 4 Golden, is is really, really good on Vita.
It's true. Now, that is what we decided to not talk about on PS2, to talk about it on the Vita.
Because it's best on Vita.
Because Persona 4 Golden is best on Vita. Like, they took everything that was good about that game and then kicked up everything a notch. Like, the graphics look better.
We didn't mention, like, PS3 portable, or Persona 3 portable on the PSP. And other than adding in that, okay, now you're a girl route, Atlas was actually kind of unhappy with that game. Because they had to cut out a lot of stuff to make it fit on a PSP.
Whereas Persona 4 Golden, everything is better.
Yeah.
Everything. There's more of it. There's extra characters. There's extra dungeons. The graphics look better.
More personas. More random side quests. More people to talk to. More monsters to fight.
That was actually one of the first things I realized when I played the Vita version. Was, in fact, the graphic fidelity looked much nicer. Like, they obviously
nicer graphics, extra combination attacks, a different extra ending.
Because even though it's a PS2 game, they redid everything to run in the resolution of the Vita, which is not HD, but still really good and better than standard def.
Yeah. That's a very good game. That might be worth getting a Vita 4, is to play Persona 4 Golden.
If you're willing to buy a system for one game. Now, there are other games on the Vita that still make it a worthwhile system. Like, the sequel to Lumines was on Vita, and it's awesome. Because the guy behind it, on that particular version that got put in charge of it, is a really big EDM guy. Like, he used to be a DJ, I believe, in New York. And so he knew exactly what kind of songs he wanted to put in a Lumines game, and then went and did it. So it's a really, really good techno-y.
I also really enjoyed, what was it, Gravity Rush?
Yeah, Gravity Rush was really good.
Felt like kind of Japan trying to do Infamous, which is a PS3 game we didn't mention. But...
Oh, God. Well, we'll get that on PS4.
Yeah, but, it had, by giving you the power to control gravity and what direction gravity is affecting you in, it was an interesting game mechanic, and I wish we had more games like that.
Yeah, that was one of those games that I really enjoyed playing that eventually I had to stop because it was giving me headaches.
Yeah.
Because the gravity stuff was so crazy. And another series that I can't really talk about because I haven't played it yet, but the whole Danganronpa series is now, a Vita thing.
Yeah.
Which is a visual, novel thing.
That is popular, but I don't know. My first exposure to it was actually the anime, and I was like, these are like children's card game character hair. I'm out of here. They seriously had the weirdest haircuts outside of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Sequel I've ever seen. But, and that's probably not fair. Everything I hear about the game makes me think it's actually probably a good game.
And very importantly, the Vita was the home to the Hatsune Miku games, which is actually important because that means we're now getting a Persona 4 dancing game.
Yeah.
Using the same mechanics. And I'm all about Persona dancing all night.
And it's going to have some secret tie-in to the story of the Persona franchise as a whole. And if you don't play it, you'll miss it. You just know they're going to put that in there to screw with you.
And then they also had Tales of Hearts R.
Which I still don't know if I think is any good. And I've played a good chunk of it now. It does have an awesome, cool old guy, though. He is my current PlayStation avatar.
And I cannot remember. I bet there's a version of Peggle.
I want to say there is, but I haven't hunted it down myself.
But no, the Vita's not a bad game system.
Recently, they've put out, Telltale Games has put out ports of its Walking Dead and Wolf Among Us, which is both are pretty good if you like their point-and-click adventure games, some quick-time events, and really good storytelling.
Oh man, and there's also Hyperdimensional Neptunia PP producing perfection.
Yeah, well, there's also a port of the original Neptunia, as well as the sequels coming. Boy, Neptunia is one of those crappy shovelware JRPG games that I mentioned. I kind of like them a little bit, and I should probably feel bad about that.
You should apparently according to his Metacritic score.
Now, I don't know about... I skipped the dancing one. I just went, no, that's too moe for me. But
I have no clue which one is which.
That PP Producing Perfection one, that's their Miku knockoff dancing.
Oh, really? I didn't even realize. I just know that it was PP and I laughed because PP.
Yeah.
And I'm 12.
Yeah, no, Neptunia is honestly kind of stupid, but... I don't know. The second one actually might be the best, which is getting a Vita updated re-release soon, like in the next few months. Like on the PS3, I thought that one was the best. Possibly because it had the most meta gamer humor.
And we can't forget Minecraft is on the Vita.
I'm pretty sure Minecraft is on everything.
Well, not 3DS.
Is there a Minecraft board game yet? Because there should be. There you go. Minecraft is on everything.
No, not 3DS. I get a lot of parents asking for Minecraft.
That is true.
On 3DS. And I wish they would just do a really crappy version of Minecraft on 3DS and go, here, there it is.
Get them out of your hair.
Yes, it's about five blocks long, but you can play it. Go for it.
5 blocks Minecraft. Long, 6,000 blocks down.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
It's Jenga from hell.
And then there is Vita TV or PlayStation TV in the United States, which is just confusing for a lot of people. Like, really confusing for a lot of people. Because they don't quite understand what it actually is.
I think I sold it to someone who just wanted it for Minecraft. They just wanted something to play Minecraft on. I think that's why they wanted it, and I confirmed that this was a thing they could do. Yes, there's even the game right here you can buy. I'm not sure if they'd be happy with it afterwards, but they didn't bring it back.
Well, all a PlayStation TV is a Vita you plug into your TV.
Yeah.
And it plays most Vita games. Not all Vita games, but most of them. And the PlayStation classics, and you can also use it to plug into your to your TV, and you can stream your PS4 games 720p to it with remote play. And it exists. It exists. I think if they were to market it correctly and get the right apps on there, they could make a real thing out of it. They're not doing that. So, oh well. Because I don't think it still has Amazon Instant Video on it. I think it just has I think it has Netflix. I know it has Netflix. I think it should have Hulu. It really needs all the same video options you would get out of a PS3.
Yeah.
Or at least the majority of them, and it doesn't. Because if you were to pitch this thing as a really good set-top box, and then say, oh, by the way, it also plays all these high-quality Vita games on your TV, I think if they pitched it correctly with the right apps that you can download to it, it could make a push as a set-top box. Like, it could hang with the Rokus and the Android TV things that are coming out soon enough. But they're not. So, it's not.
Yeah.
And that is really the shame of the Vita, which is the same shame as the PSP, is that if they were just to be able to take it that extra step, it could really be something. But they're not going to take the extra step because they can only really support one system at a time, really. And in this case, segue time, it's the PlayStation 4.
No. Because Conception 2, hold hand, think of Jesus, make star babies. Okay, now we can talk about PS4.
That was a really good segue, Kevin. I had like a whole minute of building into that segue, and then you have to go ruin it all over with Star Babies. This is goddamn Final Fantasy 13 all over again.
You gotta hold hands and think of Jesus, then you make the Star Baby.
Yeah, and I bet that Star Baby's name was Lightning, and then she said, F y'all, I'm leaving this game series. And then they were like, oh, no, we found you in 14. That's not good enough. You're getting in one more game, Lightning. And she's like, F a bunch of y'all.
Hey, Lightning returns the actual good one from that series.
Whatever.
Which is an exercise to see if you get Lightning mad enough to kill God. Spoilers, you can.
Whatever. I had a great segue.
Yeah, no, I might have even deliberately ruined that. Because I'm a horrible person.
We'll be back. I ain't go beat Kevin. Tell him how bad Galgaigar is.
Annoyed glare.
We'll be right back.
We are living our lives. Although with so much information. Come on, let go of the remote. Don't you know you let it on a junk all day? Try to stop the road, double cooking on a go, but I know use. Hey, I've been cuisine. Loading. Quickly reach maximum capacity. Want it. Gonna shop freaking my identity. Get up on your feet, tear down the walls. Catch a breeze over the world.
So, this past couple of years now, or past year or so, I guess, actually, almost to the date, Sony has learned to count to 4. Because there's now a PlayStation 4. And with the PlayStation 4, Sony kind of went back and relearned all the lessons they needed to after sort of goofing up the PS3. And Microsoft kind of got a little big in the britches when they released the Xbox One.
Yeah, they kind of pulled a PS3.
Where suddenly they were adding in stuff people didn't want. It was more expensive, and and they tried pulling the stuff. I remember I was hanging out with Doug and Barry. We were watching. I think it was the E3 Sony press conference.
Yeah,
where we were watching it, and they announced Final Fantasy 15. It's actually 13 verses, or Final Fantasy versus 13, but now it's 15. Whatever.
Final Fantasy 15, Road Trip of Justice.
And Kingdom Hearts. And then they start dropping bombs like how it was going to be $400, which was $100 cheaper than Microsoft was doing. And then they said, you can play games on it from your friends.
Yeah, remember when Xbox was like, it's going to be all this digital connection thing, and you can't just swap games, and yeah. Admittedly, this is not how it ended up being, but that's because Sony publicly slut-shamed them.
Yes, where they had a little video where they had their president, Yusei Yoshida, like this is how you let a friend borrow your PS4 game. And they have a guy hand him a PS4 game. And he's like, thanks!
Yeah.
And that singular gestures of price and goodwill to gamers let the PS4 win for like a whole year. Like, non-stop.
And Xbox, to even get any kind of footing back, had to like slash their prices and
for a couple
dump
months.
The Kinect camera. Yeah. Dump the Kinect camera off some of the models, take $100 off of it. Then they dropped like another 50.
Didn't want that feature.
Yeah, the Kinect is the devil. I'm with Doug on that.
So the PS4, still got Blu-ray. Sadly, does not play any of the previous generations.
No.
I'm kind of really hoping that perhaps one day we might, at the very least, get the PS1, maybe PS2 back.
Yeah, I was given to understand just the hardware is just so radically different that it couldn't run a PS3 game if they wanted to.
Well, no, because the PlayStation cell processor is really dumb.
Yeah.
The PlayStation processor of the PS3 was the cell thing, and no one freaking knew what to do with it.
Yeah. But the PS4 does have way more than enough hardware power to like run a PlayStation 1 or PS2 emulation software.
It's true. And it is more or less a really nice piece, or a decently nice PC.
Yeah, apparently the U.S. government like hardwired like a couple hundred of them together to make an awesome supercomputer.
Well, I mean, it's a straight up and an X. I think x86, or 64, PC architecture. Like it is a PC thing.
Yeah.
With 8 gigs of fast RAM, and it's just a nice system that
nice
can run
hardware
things.
all around.
Yeah. Well, it's helped developed by Mark Cerny, who was this video game developer who actually helped create Sonic 2. I learned that recently by reading a book called Console Wars, where they actually, freaking Yuji Naka, I believe that's his name, the creator of Sonic, got really pissed off at Sega from Sonic 1. And Sega America convinced him to come to America to develop Sonic 2. And Mark Cerny was in that team that developed Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And he has also done a whole bunch of other video games throughout the years. And he actually was the guys who Sony brought in. Either Humble Pie was like, we just need a really good video game system, guys. Just design us.
What do we need to make a really good
video game system again? And that's what they did. That is straight up what they did. And so now we've got the PS4, and it's only been out a year, so it feels somewhat hard to talk about it, but not really. It's had a pretty great slew of games come out for it.
Oh, but before even games, that controller, Basil.
Oh,
that
God.
controller.
That controller. The DualShock 4 might be the best video game controller of all time.
It's perfect.
It's curvy like a 360 controller. The buttons click like a PlayStation controller. The D-pad is still good. The triggers are actual Oscar triggers. The biggest issue was with the PS3 in reality was the DualShock 3 was kind of dumb designed. Where the triggers were these weird mushy things that weren't really triggery. And the analog sticks were a little too loose. And it was... The DualShock 4 fixed every single thing about it.
Yeah.
I have no complaints with my DualShock 4 controller. None. I even play my PS3 with my DualShock 4. Because you can plug that sucker in, hit that PlayStation button, and that PlayStation will never work ever again on the PS3. But you can play games on it. As long as you don't require the analog inputs in the button, because the buttons are now just straight up digital. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but yeah, no, there has been, for a system that's only been a year, there has been several good games. Admittedly, in some cases, they were good PS3 games.
Yeah, like Last of Us, which I think is a lot better on PS4. The graphical improvements are noticeable and appreciated. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same game.
In very similar realms, there was also Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider, they did a definitive edition.
Yeah,
and I remember playing Tomb Raider, the remake, on 360. And went, well, this is all right. Then I went back and played it on PC. Went, holy balls, this game is beautiful. And I played it nonstop for like the next 2 or 3 days. Like it was like a night and day change for Tomb Raider.
I played it on PS3 and I liked it on PS3. In fact, I was not prepared to like a Tomb Raider game again, and I liked that one.
And the newer Tomb Raider, I really, really enjoyed it, especially on PC. And the PS4 version is that, but nicer looking still.
Yeah, I really like the PS4 version. I enjoyed that. Although, honestly, to me, that game, what really sells it though is, I mean, the graphics are nice, but boy, Rihanna Pratchett's writing actually makes that game work for me.
Yep. Sleeping Dogs also got a definitive edition.
Yeah, I like Sleeping Dogs. Okay,
Sleeping Dogs it's
solid.
It's a solid open world GTA-esque game in a world where I don't really enjoy GTA-esque games, and I still enjoyed Sleeping Dogs pretty well.
Just remember, you're in Hong Kong, so you drive on the left.
And just think, this year, the year of our Lord, 2015, we're getting Saints Row 4 again.
Oh yeah, and Gat Out of Hell.
Yes. Which, you get that for all the other ones, but on PS4 you can get everything.
Yeah.
Including Get Out of Hell.
I'm going to get it because Saints Row 4 was the most amazing thing. Actually, that probably deserved mention on PS3, but Saints Row 4 was amazing. For a series that started out as a crappy Grand Theft Auto clone, it has become something wonderful and magical. And absolutely insane.
And if you want downloadable games, guess what? PS4's got your downloadable games right here.
Yeah, it's got your Peggle. Ha! I beat you.
That's right. Got goddamn Peggle 2 on PS4.
I
Game of the year.
I even have Peggle 2 on PS4.
Like, damn right you do. Yeah. Everyone needs to have Peggle 2 on PS4.
It was my first Peggle, but I got Peggle 2.
It's good Peggle. It's good stuff. And Guacamelee. They did Guacamelee on PS4, which I originally played on Vita, which I probably should have mentioned on Vita, but it's a Luchadore Metroid-esque brawler game that if you've not played Guacamelee, you should go play Guacamelee. It's a good time.
Well, and as much as we talk about it, I do almost all my playing of Final Fantasy XIV on my PS4.
That's right, Final Fantasy XIV. A Final Fantasy XIV round the board minute!
Yeah, I like it on PS4. I'm probably best, honestly, for your classes that need to be mobile, your melee DPSs, because, boy, the analog control, like the control really lets you dodge little orange death zones.
Right.
And it actually has a pretty good system with the L and R buttons letting you switch quickly between toolbars and having various mapped keys to the D-pad and 4 buttons for various commands. At least, I don't know, I've gotten handy with it pretty quick.
It is a control scheme that once you get used to it, works really well. But if you go into playing 14 with the mouse and keyboard, then trying to wrap your head around this entirely different way of playing it, can get really funky.
It is not great for micromanaging pets if you are a summoner, for example, which ironically is why I leveled up to 51st with. But summoner actually probably does not work that great. But it's great for melee DPSs because it's real good for getting out of the way of things that will kill you.
And this has been your Final Fantasy XIV Round Board Minute. Legend of Korra.
Legend of Korra, which, boy, it was a great warm-up to going to play Bayonetta 2 on Wii U. But what's a $15 game when it came out? Probably is still a $15 game. It was a real damn good $15 game. It is a Platinum Games action beat 'em up with Korra. You know, you're throwing fire, lightning, water, all that good crap. Earth. You know, and it was a good time. It was not, well, you know, compared to the one for 3DS, it was an incredibly ambitious game. By Platinum Game standards, it was not an incredibly ambitious game, but it was solid. And like all Platinum games, it doesn't really reveal its complexity until you try to play it on the hardest difficulty.
And of course, Minecraft is on PS4.
There is one big gaping problem with PS4. And there's no way for me to play the Sonic Genesis collection, so I can't play Phantasy Star 4 yet.
But you can play Transistor.
I can play Transistor. I like Transistor.
Transistor is a good time. We should have really mentioned Bastion when we were talking about PS3 games.
Yeah, probably. I never actually played it, though.
Oh, Bastion is good times.
Well,
Bastion's
I never played it on PS3. I actually played it on PC.
No, Transistor's fun. One of your favorite games of all time, Akiba's Trip.
I don't know if it's one of my favorite. It did get a PS4 release.
It did. How did you play it?
I played it on PS3.
Okay.
I have played the PS4 version now. The main difference on the PS4 is they added a toy box mode where you don't get any achievements, but you get like all the outfits to play with, and you can play with your character a bit more and how you look without beating the game. Although once you beat the game for real, it opens up the game plays out exactly the same way and everyone talks to you the same, but you can choose different character models to play with, which gives you some more option in playing with different outfit combinations.
And then there is the game that made me realize that I love open world games that you get to run around in. I am apparently not a big fan of open world games where you drive around in. And I learned this while trying to play Watch Dogs. But that was a game that you actually played and beat, wasn't it?
You know I haven't beat it.
Okay. I know you're playing. I know you played a bunch of it.
I played a bunch of it, and I laughed at the part of the game where I apparently hacked someone's Xbox Kinect camera. like in the PS4 version. But I actually kind of liked Watch Dogs, and there's no reason why I didn't play that more. I should go back and play that some. But, you know, you kind of got to hack stuff, and that was the whole point of the game. But I don't like really driving around much either. With that kind of game, and like your Grand Theft Autos and Watch Dogs, it kind of kills it for me when the game kind of tries to make you have to drive around. And in fact, what I really like a lot about Saints Row 4 is, other than a few missions that are about collecting vehicles, you don't have to drive anywhere. You can say, fuck driving. Because you get to run around and glide and do superhuman things.
Just like infamous Second Son. Can't take that one away from me.
No.
That's my segue. I figured that one out right there.
That was good. That was a good one.
Infamous Second Son is also good.
Ooh, and if you got PlayStation Prime membership, First Light is a free download now.
PlayStation Plus.
Or Plus, yeah.
Right now, during the month of January, Infamous First Light, which is the prequel downloadable game for Infamous Second Son, which is a sequel to Infamous 1 and 2.
Yeah. Which are good superhero for open world roaming games.
And they sort of kept that tradition going with Infamous Second Son, which is probably the best, most complete vision of that game.
Oddly enough, the moral choices don't seem to matter.
They never really did.
But other than fluff text, so to speak. But it was fun, and it actually gave you a variety of powers to play with. As opposed to Infamous 1 and 2, you just got your Lightning of Doom.
Well, I mean, Lightning of Doom is like the best power.
Lightning of Doom is a pretty damn good power, and in fact, in Second Son, when what you start with smoke is almost a little underwhelming.
Yeah, but they eventually give you these other power. Well, you first off get to power up smoke.
Yeah, and smoke starts getting cool.
Gets cool, but then they start giving you other powers that every time they give you powers, they tend to get cooler.
Yeah.
Until they give you this really weird. The third set is really weird, but really neat. That I can't really talk about because that's a big old spoiler for that game.
It's not old enough that I guess we feel comfortable just shouting that out.
Other open world games, sort of Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes was an open world. It was just a very small open world.
It's a glorified tech demo, but it's a fun glorified tech demo.
It's a really fun glorified tech demo. I really can't wait to play the Phantom Pain now.
I do want to play
because I play Ground Zeroes.
I do want to play a Phantom Pain. Oddly enough, not for the gameplay of Ground Zeroes, but the actual narrative of Ground Zeroes has made me a little apprehensive of the story I'm getting into.
Yes. Like, that is the worst part about Ground Zeroes.
Boy, Ground Zeroes, like, I almost recommend you do not listen to those radio recordings more than the game makes you.
I didn't.
Like, do not listen to those radio recordings.
I sadly know what's in those recordings.
That's creepy as hell.
But, yeah.
Like, well, not even just creepy, it's really damn unsettling. Like, I'm a little worried that we've gone a little too Jack Bauer in this thing, considering Snake is voiced by Jack Bauer. Boy, I miss David Hayter.
Yeah,
I think the Snake voice was killing his voice, but he is so Snake.
And other guys not whatever his name is. Voice
Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah, he's just. I hear him. He's saying Snake words, but it's not Snake's voice.
And boy, if you thought there was an actor who was a mainstream actor who has got the most solid Snake-like voice, you might even think Kiefer Sutherland. But somehow, it's not magic.
It's not.
But the game was really fun to play.
Super fun to play.
Like, it's Metal Gear and even better, like every console jump. It's like what you like, but now it's better. And the enemies are smarter, but now you have more options, so it evens out.
A game that doesn't quite pull that off was Assassin's Creed Unity. But let's not talk about Unity. Let's talk about Black Flag.
Black Flag is amazing.
Black Flag was great.
It is the best pirate simulator game ever.
It is where you can click sea shanties and go on the open seas and stab dudes with extreme prejudice.
Take ships, assault sea forts, dive into the water. Basically, if you've seen it in a pirate movie, you can do it in Black Flag somewhere.
Yeah.
And that is, in a lot of ways, the most successful thing to say about that is just if you saw it or thought about doing it in a pirate movie, you probably do it in this game somewhere.
Well, Black Flag also had a really fortunate case of being an upscale, as it were, of a PS3 360 game.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was sort of designed around those consoles, and they prettied up real good and smoothed all the frame rates out for PS4. So you got a really smooth, good-looking version of the game.
Right.
Whereas Unity was designed from the ground up to be a PS4, and then they overshot themselves.
Unity, I don't know, they've probably patched a lot of things now, but that game was buggy as hell.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and play it at some point, but I still need to play other games first. One of the games I eventually will play after I play Unity, though, is Middle-earth Shadows of Mordor.
Oh, that is good. I think it's good because it looks like it should be Assassin's Creed Mordor, but it's really Batman Mordor Asylum.
Go on.
Well, it plays more like the Arkham games.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fighting mechanics, a lot of the things you do, it feels more like the Arkham game. Mm-hmm. With the added thing of, okay, you're in Middle-earth, and you've kind of got this ranger guy who has weird wraith powers because of plot reasons, and the Nemesis system is cool. The Nemesis system is really cool, where orcs will remember you, and like if they survive battle with you, they actually get tougher, and they will advance to like leadership positions and command other groups of orcs. And sometimes, even when you think they're good and dead, they come back just really scarred up because they weren't quite dead yet, and now they want revenge. And they get a little stronger when that happens. Like they get new abilities, like they can negate some of your specials, or and sometimes they have unique weaknesses, like they react more strongly to certain things.
Yeah, that's one reason why I have not played Mordor yet, because I'm going to wait till after I beat Unity to play Mordor. So I feel that the Nemesis system will make me wish it was in Unity.
Boy, when Unity's working, it's pretty and kind of fun. When it's working.
But a game that more or less did work out of the box, which was amazing this year, and was also really good, Dragon Age Inquisition.
As long as you remember to leave the hinterlands.
Right. And that is hard.
Oh, the hinterlands are pretty nice. I know famed DC comic book writer Gail Simone never wants to leave the hinterlands. She loves the hinterlands.
The hinterland, for most other games, the hinterlands would be the game.
Yeah.
For most other games, the size and scope of the hinterlands would be its own game. And it's not. It's just one area amongst many areas in this video game.
And you kind of think, okay, Hinterlands is huge, but I bet the other areas aren't that big. And some of them aren't, but some of them are.
Yeah. Yeah, I've learned that. And it was, I'm just really sad that my stupid world did not transfer correctly. And so it's been really hard. I have to go back and play through the game again to make sure all my original decisions were actually moved over and made. I
don't know if it's, like the perfect RPG, but it's probably the best one on PS4.
I mean, it's big, it is open, but not too open. It does a really good job of leading you from one quest to another. You get to roam around and kill dudes. It is definitely the best expression so far, I feel, of playing a D&D party in an RPG without...
the characters are very likable and engaging, especially once you get them to open up a little.
Oh, Iron Bull.
Well,
Iron Bull.
Iron Bull is great. I also like Sarah, the elf rogue, who is so wonderfully low-class British in her sense of humor. Amazingly low-class British humor. And it's wonderful.
And then you've got, I never can decide who I want to be my tank, Cassandra or Blackwall.
Yeah, I've typically had Cassandra with me. I don't know. Like, well, okay. I played female rogue initially, and I kind of went with the girl power party, like Cassandra, Sarah, Vivian, the female
mage.
I don't even know if that's the best setup, but it worked for the most part.
Well, the game is designed that you can more or less use whatever setup you want.
Yeah.
Since healing is now all potions, you don't even have to use your mages to heal.
Mages don't really heal well. They really don't do healing. You can raise you, but...
So, yeah, I could see that. Oh, but like, Dorian's really cool.
Oh, yeah, like, I
like Dorian. The other rogue guy, whose name I'm now forgetting. Cole, yeah.
Who is like the Kenneth Parcell in a mystical fantasy world.
Yeah. It's good times, and like the story's neat and interesting. That's why I'm playing through it all over again. It's purely BioWare being BioWare.
Yeah.
It feels like this is the game I thought I was getting of Dragon Age 2. This is the game I thought I was getting when I picked up Dragon Age 2.
I really enjoyed Inquisition. I could probably nitpick a few things if I really wanted to, but the strength of the writing of the characters even makes me, a few points in the story I think are a little wonky. I feel like I can gloss over that, because I really enjoyed the ride anyways.
So yeah, PS4. We talked about it not as much as the PS3.
Yeah.
Which, so, for a system that only been out for a year, is a really good sign.
There are
of
a
things
lot
to
of
come.
games I'm looking forward to. Actually, honestly, the Vita's getting a few more RPGs that I'm looking forward to early this year that may turn out to be shovelware crap, or they may turn out to be good.
We'll find out. But next, we're going to take another break, come back with questions.
For viewers like you.
And final thoughts and where PlayStation's going to go from here. So, we'll be right back. This is the OSMcast. Questions from internet people like you. I asked for questions, and some people sent them to me. Like Dylan.
Ask me your questions, Basil. I am not afraid.
All right. Here we go. Dylan Wolf to me via email. You can do that as well. I take questions however you send them to me. Carrier pigeon. We'll try that. Dylan.
Oh, Mike Tyson's Mysteries. That is a great show, and people need to be watching it.
Dylan just bought a PlayStation TV from a place you might stop for games during their Black Friday sale after not owning a PlayStation anything for a very long time. Since my main reason for buying it was game development, what's the general feeling about PS Mobile as a platform? Is it something you pay attention to? No.
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 Not at all.
Not really.
Of course, I don't have any kind of smartphone, so, but...
I don't know if you can even download PlayStation Mobile games to phones anymore either. Like, I have a brand new Sony phone, the Xperia Z3V. I don't even know if I can put PlayStation Mobile games on this thing. I can do remote play. I can play I can strap a DualShock to this thing and play PS4 games by streaming, as if it were a Vita.
That's crazy.
I can do that.
That is kind of crazy.
With my phone. And it looked pretty darn good. This screen is really nice. Like, as nice as that Vita screen is, this screen is nicer. Oh my god, if I could play Persona freaking Golden on this thing.
You're such a tech file.
I would do. I am. It's a problem. But no, I don't know anyone who pays attention to PlayStation Mobile. I would not develop for it unless it's a really easy move over from Android. Honestly, I wouldn't use it. I look through it occasionally, and there's definitely games that come out for it. I'll sometimes get bored and I'll scroll through it on Vita, through the PlayStation Mobile section, but then I don't buy anything. I mean, if you made something, I'd probably buy it because you're Dylan, and you're my Bushka, you're the hate of my heart, but everyone else can go screw themselves on PlayStation Mobile. I don't look at the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've not even looked at it through my Vita.
From Gerald Rathgold of the Any World Order podcast, Gerald_AWO, was the PlayStation the superior console because it was the only one with Rumble Roses on it?
The PlayStation?
Well, I assume he means PS2 and PS3. So I think those were the only ones that... I think there was a version of Rumble Roses. Or was that even only PS2?
I think it was a PS3 Rumble. Didn't play any of them.
Well, the PlayStation 2 was the superior system.
And I'm not sure if Gerald is serious about his love of Rumble Roses or if he's being ironic. I should actually ask him in real life.
I feel that is totally... I'm pretty positive he is... Gerald is serious about many things.
Yeah.
Even when he's being ironic, he's being serious about being ironic.
I think I played a demo for Rumble Roses, which makes me think it probably was on PS3 because that had downloadable demos. But I otherwise have had no contact with the series. Girl Fight Wrestling, gay?
And no, there was a sequel, Gerald, on the Xbox 360. So, no, it's not the superior console, because that means the 360 was superior console, because it got the sequel. What up? Alright, moving on.
Okay, so far we've got 2 questions with the answers, and yeah, I didn't really play that at all, and no. Yeah.
Do you think not having an innovative... This is from Nico, at Nico Scream. Do you think not having an innovative format as PS2 with DVD and PS3 with Blu-ray has affected the adoption of PS4/Vita?
Well, Vita did have a unique medium, and that doesn't help it, in my opinion.
Well, I would say the PSP had a disc-based medium complete with a bunch of movies on it that Sony hoped would make it the media player of choice.
That
much like DVDs did.
Yeah, that did not work out for them.
And Vita, it did not work out that Vita went to cartridges instead. Didn't really help. Didn't really hurt it.
Yeah.
But didn't really help it. And PS4 is succeeding in spite of not having an innovative format.
Yeah, it's doing pretty well with the Blu-ray, mostly because... I guess, well, Blu-ray is good. There's a lot of space on a Blu-ray disc.
I was mostly going to agree with you, Basil, that I think that it would have helped the PlayStation 4 if it had... I think PlayStation 4 would already be running laps around the other guys if it had an innovative if it had an innovative coding format to it, but it doesn't.
Like, if they had some sort of amazing 4K resolution super disc.
So it's only doing well.
And even doing well, it's still the best-selling console. It's already sold, I think, 18 million units worldwide already.
Yeah, actually, I do think that if they had come out with an innovative, if they had come out with an innovative coding format for their discs on the PlayStation 4, I actually do think it would have hurt it this time around rather than helping it, because part of the reason that Blu-ray came about is because there was a need for it. There was a legitimate upgrade in technology. If they just came out with a new format for the sake of coming up with a new format, it would be the same thing that happened with the PSP, where people didn't really use it. It didn't catch on.
Yeah, I think right now Blu-ray is still...
Blu-ray is still going strong, and until there's an actual code reason for something to be better, it's just not going to catch on.
And that could be 4K. That could be it. Although I kind of hope at this point that they have a better version of Blu-ray that my PS4 can already do.
Yeah.
I don't really think that they need a new disc format if they can help it. I
They
think...
come up with a disc that just holds more data.
Right.
I keep wondering when we'll see like a Blu-ray disc-based game that comes with multiple discs. But
Time's coming. I mean, even... And this is an Xbox One game, but the Halo Chief Master Chief Collection, which is a collection of HD versions of Halos 1 through 4, it had an entirely separate 40 gig download in addition to the stuff installed via the Blu-ray, because there was not enough space on the Blu-ray disc, because it had four full games in HD, and it had 100 multiplayer maps from all the various games, again in HD, and it just was not enough space to hold everything. So there's one game that should have probably released as a 2-disc set.
yeah.
They just chose not to do it as a 2-disc set. So we are definitely getting in there to that possibility.
I actually think on the PS3 even, I think what may sort of hurt some of the games is the trade-off for doing these big, beautiful games is that the big, beautiful game takes up a shitload of space for the graphics.
Well, actually, a problem the PS3 had was that while it had a Blu-ray drive, it has a very slow Blu-ray drive.
Yeah.
Like, it was a very early Blu-ray drive.
They either had to install or put a lot of repeat data.
Right, like I think that's actually what they did with like Fallout, was they got or Elder Scrolls Oblivion, where they actually got around it by just repeating the game over and over and over again on the disc, so it could find it faster, because there were more options for it to grab onto. That was actually one of the early advantages that the 360 had, was because it was actually DVD and not Blu-ray. There was less space on the disc, which meant it could find stuff faster. So, because also the DVD drive was a faster drive, because DVDs were old technology at that point.
Yeah.
So they could put in a speedy disc drive, whereas Blu-ray, it was only like, it was a pretty slow, basic unit. And I'm pretty sure that PS4 and Xbox One don't have that problem anymore, because again, Blu-ray's been around for 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, they've got faster drives.
And they have faster drives. From Pat's Prime, although he still goes by Santa Prime, it is past January 6th. We're past Epiphany. You put that Christmas stuff away, people. It's now tacky. Just put it up. It's over. Wait till next November, after Thanksgiving, and then put all your Christmas stuff back again. Okay? Mm-hmm. Have any of you ever had a Pocket Station?
Nope.
No.
No.
I kind of wanted one.
Yeah.
I don't even know what one is.
It was more or less a Tamagotchi for your original PlayStation.
Oh.
There's a couple things you do with some of the Final Fantasies with it.
Yeah, like it had like a little Chocobo mini thing.
Cool.
Like little Chocobo raising like LCD game.
Cool.
Much like a Tamagotchi like level of LCD.
Yeah.
Apparently there's some of the ways you can unlock things in Final Fantasy IX. Was using a Pocket Station, but we never had it in the US.
Yeah.
It was actually more of a response to the Dreamcast. It had a little the VMU things. Those little memory cards with little LCD screens on them.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 1 also had that in its later life.
Oh.
We just never saw them in the US.
Oh, okay. That's too bad. Sounds cool.
Okay, and from DJ Syndrome, Eric French. What are your thoughts on the PlayStation TV? Does it have a chance in America? Should compatibility be expanded? I don't see much future for PlayStation TV in America.
No, if you want a streaming media player, get a Roku. If you want an actual game console, get an actual game console.
I want to say, again, I mentioned this earlier, but I think the PlayStation Vita TV, whatever you want to call it, it could be good. It could be good. It could be a thing that you could plug into your TV if they increase the app selection. There's not enough. I believe you can now do Netflix and Hulu, and I think Crunchyroll. Mm-hmm. But you don't have... It might have Crackle, but it doesn't have Amazon Instant, which is a real big issue. It doesn't have HBO Go. It doesn't have several other things that a lot of people kind of expect to be in your media streamer, like your Android TVs or your Chromecast, or, well, Chromecast you kind of use your phone, but things like Roku and stuff that are dedicated set-top boxes, because it can't even compete with like PS3, 360, PS4, Xbox One. Like, it can't even compete with the other things. And when people buy this thing, it's honestly probably going to be a media streamer first, video game system second.
I'm actually vaguely curious how it does in Japan, but...
Well, I do think the market is ripe for something like that to sweep through and take the market and become kind of the new thing. But we've seen Xbox try it with the Xbox One to a certain extent. I actually think for your casual person, Apple TV is going to get them, and everybody else is going to be split up among various different devices.
I actually have pondered if it'd be any fun with it just to play Vita games on my TV, but I haven't felt the need to actually buy one.
And, well, I can see the problem with Apple TV is expensive. Unless it's also $100 now. Because that's sort of the sweet spot, is $100.
Yeah, it's
for a lot of these media players.
Actually, I think.
Okay.
It is about $100 for Apple TV.
That is the sweet spot, I think. Or if you can get lower, that's even better. But
yeah, the Rokus are a bit cheaper.
You know, I think especially once you get to like between like 30 and 50, I think that's going to be the real sweet spot. If you can produce a good streaming, box or stick for like $30-$50, that's its own, dedicated thing that isn't Chromecast, because Chromecast is dependent on your computer or phone. Mm-hmm. I think they could do something with that. The Vita could be that, or the PlayStation TV, but until they have the equivalent of app selection, which they're not pushing at all, and Sony just isn't pushing that thing. They're so focused on getting that PS4 to be successful, which they're succeeding at, but the Vita has really just hit the wayside. And I think that the Vita TV was sort of their way of making that a thing, but then they didn't make it a thing. Yeah. It's out, you can buy it. But
yeah, if you know where to find it. But
like, I honestly have a feeling, I think either the Amazon Fire TV or one of the upcoming Android TVs might be the next not Apple TV streaming box.
Boy, I do feel it's worth repeating again. On paper, I love the Vita. On paper, it's amazing.
Yep.
I want more games for it. I really, really want more games for it.
And then apparently from an @Nandy_Ice from Adam Blunderwood. Preferred beer style for PlayStation gaming?
Actually, I generally prefer a lighter beer style. When I'm playing PlayStation games, because as Kevin pointed out, you don't want to dull your reflexes too much, but you still want like that good taste of a beer. So, whereas I normally prefer ambers, when I'm playing a PlayStation game, I usually try to go for more like a blonde.
I actually really don't drink beers when I play PlayStation. Mm-hmm. Like, I will sometimes drink alcoholic drinks, but usually I'll either bust out some wine, or like I'll make a simple mixed drink, like either like a whiskey and Coke, or possibly a gin and tonic.
I only drink while playing Mario 3D World on Wii U, because it's way more fun that way.
Well, I do have to. I feel that I need to plug a Fat Tire. I found some at Sam's Club, a case at Sam's Club, so I got it for less than I would get it normally, and oh man, it's been so good. I've been enjoying that. That is an amber style that I've got from Fat Tire, but it's so good. Like, it puts what I was buying before to shame.
That was our questions for internet people like you. Where do we see PlayStation going? I think my position's pretty clear. Like, I think the PS4 has nowhere to go but continue to keep going up, and the Vita is sort of flatlining itself, sadly.
So, when they had the PS. I don't remember if it was PS2 or PS3 commercials. What was the one they were claiming would be the nanomachines in your brain?
That was 9. That was 9.
Get on that, Sony. I want my nanomachine in my brain, which is actually probably a horrible idea, but I'll do it anyways if you make it.
As long as you put Wild Arms on it.
Yeah, give me a good Wild Arms game, and maybe some PS2 backwards compatibility.
Yeah, I have the feeling that the PlayStation 4 is going to end up winning the system for me. I still haven't bought any of this current generation system, so I'm still on the fence, but I have a pretty strong feeling PlayStation 4 is going to win it.
Well, yeah, and the Kinect's the devil, so...
Yeah, like, I don't want that feature. I actively feel that is Big Brother spying on me, and I don't want it in my house.
You actually don't have to get it anymore, but I still... Oh, let's face it, most of us have, like, most of your friends who have a preference in the next gen are PlayStation 4.
Well, that's true, and that does color my perspective.
And really, that maybe should be your deciding factor in that thing, is what are your friends playing it? And that controller.
Nice. It's so good.
Like, what are your friends playing, and are you really excited about any of the exclusives for one or the other?
And what controller you like.
Yeah.
I know for me, being that I play a lot of JRPGs mostly, knowing that Japan is going to be making more games for the PlayStation than for the Xbox,
like probably not at all for the Xbox,
automatically draws me to the PlayStation more than it draws me to the Xbox, because I just don't like first-person shooters.
It's true. One of the big reasons that we ended up getting the 360 originally was because Microsoft had a very concentrated renewal on obtaining the Japanese gamer market. And so they went out of their way to either fund or buy exclusivity rights for JRPGs. That's why we got stuff like Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon developed for 360, and why we got Vesperia exclusive on 360 in America was because Microsoft paid for it.
Well, and even Vesperia coming out in Japan actually caused them to finally sell some 360s in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that happened 3 times. The first time happened when Blue Dragon came out. Then it happened again when Vesperia came out. And then it happened again when Lost Odyssey came out. Like, if they had just kept putting out quality RPGs on that system...
Japan might feel more kindly towards Microsoft.
But they didn't.
Yeah.
And honestly, nowadays...
Japan doesn't really want to touch the Xbox One with a 10-foot pole.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is probably what's going to end up being the deciding factor for me.
If you are a Japanophile in your gaming tastes, you better go with Sony.
So, and I feel that, Sony did a lot of right moves to the PlayStation 4. I don't think they've really done any major horrible bad moves to the PlayStation 4 yet. Microsoft has went back on a lot of their bad decisions on the Xbox One, but unless they give me a really awesome Japanese RPG on the One, then I see no reason to. One of the reasons that for the holidays, I bought Doug and Barry a PS3 and not a PS4 is because right now the Tales Studio says they're still dedicated to just PS3. So
we got Zestria coming.
Yeah, Zestria is coming out only on PS3.
Yeah.
But if they announce a Tales game for PS4 or announce a version of Zestria for the PS4, I'm going to get my copy on PS4 because it's probably going to run better because it's a more powerful system. I mean, when I pick up Persona 5, it's going to be on PS4.
And, we're probably going to see Persona 5 before we see Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, that's probably true. It's probably true. It's sad. I didn't think I was going to win that bet, but I think I am. And
I'm still hoping, and since it's still in vague stages, you have time to make me right, I'm still hoping for Black Hole and Kingdom Hearts 3. Make it happen, guys. I want Vincent as a summon.
So, what are you looking forward to in the future PlayStation?
I'm actually looking forward to Final Fantasy 15.
Yes. That's really weird of me to say.
Yeah.
But yes.
With even though after getting, and I'm the one who defends it the most, but even after getting burned on 13, and
you defend it the most, and even you had to sit there and go, even after getting burned.
Even after getting burned on 13 in many ways, and the odd choice of apparently is an all-male party, but a female Cid, so good on you guys. But just from the previews where it looks like Awesome Bro Road Trip, the RPG, has strangely sold me on the concept.
I still want to develop Sparrow, the RPG. Which I can't talk about too much on the podcast, or else somebody else might beat me to it.
That's right.
Well, my mom has your concept art in her picture folder. It pops up sometimes in her wallpaper. She would
It's a good wallpaper.
She would buy a copy.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to 15. I surprise myself when I say that because I think I was burnt hardest on 13. But the fact is, I'll still give a new Final Fantasy a try.
Yeah. And I'm also looking forward to Persona 5, which we'll probably get first.
Yeah. But there, there's other games like Witcher 3.
Yeah.
I am very, very hyped for Witcher 3.
I'm very hyped for Tales of Vesperia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game.
I'm very hyped that there will somehow be a way for me to play Phantasy Star 4 on it.
Pretty.
Ooh, HD re-release of Phantasy Star 4. It needs to happen. It'll never happen. It'll never happen because they don't care about good Phantasy Star games anymore. They just want their Phantasy Star Online crap. But if you could just make that game, like, don't fuck with it. Don't throw in weird features. Just give me that game in bright, shiny HD graphics, and I will love Sega forever.
But their new Phantasy Star Online S game on Vita is being developed by Tri-Ace. So
it won't be Phantasy Star. It won't be real Phantasy Star, but it might be a good game.
yes, that will expect you to break it
Yeah.
2/3 of the way in.
Yeah, and I do like Tri-Ace. Oh well. I might give it a shot, but it still won't be real Phantasy Star.
So, games that we forgot to mention when we were talking about all the games.
Nier.
Interesting choice. Interesting game.
It's a weird-ass game.
It's a weird-ass sequel to a game, considering it was a sequel to Drakengard.
It's a sequel to the weirdest ending of Drakengard 2, I think. I think what was the weirdest ending. Yeah, but that's a weird game. Like, it's, I guess, solid overall. It's got a really good soundtrack. But it's a weird game. It's a weird kind of action RPG. That's, I don't know why I felt that had to be the one to be said, but I felt like Nier had to be mentioned.
Well, I also know that you wanted to mention Resonance of Fate.
Oh yeah, Resonance of Fate, another Tri-Ace game. Same Tri-Ace logic of, 2/3 of the way through, you better have broke the game. But it was a turn-based RPG based around replicating the general feel of a Hong Kong gunplay movie. But it was also kind of a diesel punk RPG.
And its voice direction and localization was also done by 8-4 Studios.
Yeah.
The same guys who tend to take care of all the Tales games.
Yeah.
And that was one of the ones they actually really got to sit in and really help them really work with the voice actors and stuff to really make sure it sounded and was read correctly.
Yeah, and strangely, I could really get behind an RPG that has a lot of character costume options.
And I think Nier might be another game that 8-4 worked on.
Yeah.
It might have been. I don't remember for sure.
And there was... I think I'm probably the only one who's touched it, but Drakengard 3 did come out.
It did. It did come out on PS3.
And that was,
that was a thing.
All the Drakengard games kind of fall under... They're interesting, but really weird.
And I would be really remiss if I did not mention Yakuza 4.
Yeah.
4. There was also Yakuza 3, but I really didn't really play 3, but I really played 4. I really, really enjoyed 4. I still need to beat 4. I'm like at the final boss in 4. I need to go play and beat 4. But it's, the whole running around Kabukicho, I believe it's what they call it. It's downtown Tokyo in its own weird, unique sort of role-play-y RPG open-y world where you've got this big old, set of neighborhoods that you wander around, and then a random people like, I'm going to fight you. Let's fight. And then you fight. It's like a fighting game RPG. Like it's old Japanese gangster tales.
Old Japanese gangster tales.
Because it throws you into this. It's a sort of 1v1. Sometimes you have multiple bad guys, but it's an action game. And it plays kind of similar to Tales, only it plays more brawly because you're playing older Japanese street thugs, and you're playing Yakuza. And at this point in the series, they're letting the guys get older, and so now you're playing like guys in their 30s and 40s, totally beaten up dudes. I think it's one of the reasons why the next upcoming Yakuza major game, we're getting 5, which is amazing. For PS4 is actually a prequel set in the 80s, and I'm very, very hyped for Yakuza in the 80s.
I might jump in on that because I haven't played the series before.
That's bubble economy Japan.
Yeah.
That's what Japan was. It's brightest, it's glitziest.
And it's grimiest.
Like it was.
That is kind of the golden... I don't know. You might argue the 70s, but the 80s is perilously close to Yakuza Golden Age.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm pretty darn tootin' hyped for that one. And I'm also looking forward to playing Yakuza 5. I'm also definitely looking forward to playing Yakuza 5. Yakuza is an awesome, awesome series that no one pays attention to. It really reminds me of... It's a video game, but if Tales of whatever is anime, the video games, Yakuza is the live-action drama equivalent of video games.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure we're still forgetting stuff.
Oh, I'm sure we're forgetting tons of stuff.
Yeah.
So, as John from Chains OK, are all our hearts and minds clear on PlayStation for now?
Yep.
So we think of anything else?
Yeah, this was a good little quick run-through of the rest of the systems. Which, well, at least in the case of even the 3, the 3 Vita and 4 still kind of exist and have games being made and...
Yeah.
Well,
are not... The books aren't really closed on them yet, but...
Frankly, Tales of Vesperia came out, and so no other video game can possibly compare, so I just don't have as much to say about these.
I can contest that. I can contest that. But probably the game that I would contest that with wasn't on a PlayStation console, so I can't do that. You'll have to wait for me to contest that on our next... Well, it might be the next episode, it might be the episode after. So I'm not sure when we're actually going to be able to see the Tale of Princess Kaguya. And that might end up getting its own OSMcast that night. But in the very near future, we're doing our Awesome Awards for 2014. And we'll come back to this conversation of the best Tales game and best video game. But until then, we're at the OSMcast. You can find us at awesomecast.com. Got the social medias. Facebooks, Twitters, Tumblrs. My Twitter is... It's at its Basil Time. Kevin's is at Twitless_Kevin. We'll see you next time.
Garrow, Garrow, Garrow.